Hello and welcome to 27 by 40. My name is Chris.
This is Emmett.
And this is episode 17. And this episode, we are doing posters from 1976. So for those who haven't seen this before, each episode, we each pick our top 5 posters of a given year. We share them in kind of a 5-to-1. Least favorite, but not really least favorite. But,
Yeah.
To most favorite.
Yeah, and then we talk about, why we picked them or what we like about them or...
76, interesting year for posters.
Yeah, so we've done like early 70s and late 70s, and then we're hitting like kind of mid-ish. So
huge variety, something for everyone here. Not well. I didn't have there wasn't like a huge ton that really stood out. I also didn't have like a lot of like, wow, these are all just boring and bad. Like it was a lot of like more interesting than good. Like that's an interesting composition. I don't like it, but that's an interesting way to put a movie poster together. Somewhat reminiscent of actually when we did the late 70s ones, where it was a lot more like, almost felt like they were experimenting a bit about like what makes a good movie poster.
There's a lot, for sure. There's a lot. It definitely feels like a more transitionary time.
Yeah,
there's a lot of the whole kind of cartoony artwork, like comedy.
Yeah,
sort of silly.
Every second movie was a sex comedy.
Yeah,
which also
possibly I would say 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. A bunch of them were obviously because it was a big at the time British.
Yeah, or just like straight up softcore porn.
Yeah. There was one that was like
it's like that was basically.
It was
76.
It was like we're
that's like the majority of movies.
We're clearly in the mid 70s.
In 76.
Yeah. We've like war movies and westerns have fallen by the wayside. Yeah. We have now gone into
just
it's very much
raunchy comedy.
Turns out we can put anything in a movie.
Yeah.
Code? What code?
Yeah, just raunchy comedies in general.
Yeah,
and specifically, like it was out of control.
Yeah, a number of movies a number of movies that we've done for the podcast, but a number of movies that I saw, like I could not tell what kind of movie it was from the poster. I'm like, is this a comedy or is this a drama? And then it'd be like, you read like the little blurb about it and it's like, oh, the blah, blah, these actors starring in this comedy. And then you read the plot of the movie and you're like, nothing about that sounds like it would be funny. I don't, like, are you sure you mean comedy?
It's funny in the 70s.
This sounds like, like one of them, there was one with, we just did the French movie, The Samurai with him.
Alain Delon,
and it was like supposedly a comedy, and then I read the thing about it, and it's like, he has to help like his younger brother after he shoots a cop, and I'm like, haha,
hilarious.
I mean. I mean, maybe the circumstances, but definitely the write-up did not nail that. But there was a lot of posters where I'm like, I don't know what kind of movie this is from the poster.
The other common thing is like a lot of like action like movies with like a whole bunch of like macho men and guns everywhere,
and then the poster is just like an amalgamation of like clips from the movie,
and then just like guns everywhere, just pointing in every direction, or explosions, and it's just like, okay, on the poster,
so big experimentations in composition,
a very transitionary kind of time, I think.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead here, and we're starting with you this week.
Oh, wow.
And see what we got here.
So this is Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave.
Wow.
So this is in the genre referred to as Bruceploitation.
Okay.
When basically after Bruce Lee died, they would just they would cast like guys that kind of looked a little bit like Bruce Lee, and then they would just present it as like, essentially they were Bruce Lee, but they would like usually spell it a different way, or they would, some kind of like, and they would sort of like play it like,
that's terrible.
And they would play it kind of like, maybe these are like movies that like Bruce Lee might have like, could have been. This is like one that I've actually heard of.
So what you're telling me is they didn't actually raise Bruce Lee from the grave for this movie?
No. Okay. But I've heard of this movie. I've seen clips from it. I've never actually watched it. Yeah, I mean, it's very...
it's quite the poster.
Yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous. I picked it more out of just like the ridiculousness and like the audacity of like, like I don't agree with the whole Bruceploitation thing. I think it's pretty poor taste.
Yeah, it's very poor taste.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. But I had to give it points for just like the audacity of the fact that they were just like, oh yeah, no, we're just going for it.
Something about the way he's holding his fist kind of almost looks like he's trying to give whatever that creature is the finger. Like he's just shy of giving it the finger.
Yeah. I don't remember if it's this movie because I saw like a whole video once about like Bruceploitation movies in general. And I don't know if it's this movie or if it was a different one, but there's one where like they use like actual footage from like Bruce Lee's real funeral and stuff, and it's just like it's so
that's so icky. Oh, that's so gross.
It's so horrible.
Oh,
and it's just like, are you serious?
How do you get away with that?
And it's just, I mean, I don't know, China, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, it's just weird.
Not worth the lawsuit.
Yeah, it's just weird. But I had to go for this one.
Look at the face on that dragon.
I know, it's amazing.
That dragon can't believe the BS
I know,
that is being
it's
pulled
amazing.
here.
I had to go for this one for my number 5 just because like it's so ridiculous and over the top, but like at the same time it's like it's a well presented like if you're trying to sell something, it's like a well presented poster. It's just that when you know like the reality behind it, it's just like
the funny thing,
terrible.
Everything old is new again.
Yeah,
because like we're fast approaching an age where an actor will die and they will just like AI his face and voice into movies.
Yeah,
and so
I mean, I think that
which is also gross, but
I think that's probably best not talked about in this in this context because it's too big of a
thing. But it just made me think of that.
I know, I get it. But
can't keep a good man.
But it's it's a well done poster. It's like I can't deny that.
He's really bursting out of that grave.
Yeah, it's like an explosion. Mm-hmm. He's fighting back.
Yeah,
that's why he's fighting back from the grave.
From the grave, yeah.
All right,
fights back from the grave. It's rated R too.
Of course it is. Wow. Well, I think most of the movies from this year
are
going to be
good point
because they're really pushing the boundaries here at this point.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was like, where are all the Disney animated movies and stuff like that?
I know because remember '76 Disney was like in a slump at this time, right?
Yeah, it's brutal. All right, so my number 5. Diary of the Dead.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Romero film Diary of the Dead.
It threw me
for terrible.
It threw me for a second.
The one really terrible entry in the Romero series.
I was like, Diary from the Dead isn't 1970. What are you doing, Wikipedia? Yeah. And then it was like,
no, it's an actual movie. It's a different movie.
Yeah. Really simple 2-tone poster.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah,
it was sort of on my short list. I honestly like.
I like the silhouette. I like how her arm
is white.
And it really just
Honestly, I didn't pick it because of like the weird aspect of like the whole the name and that whole.
I sort of had to pick it because of
that. That's fair. That's fair. But I feel like maybe that influenced me not to. But it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it is really good.
Yeah. But I get no idea what it's about. But
I mean, some kind of a horror.
Yeah, I assume so.
Thing.
Yeah. We got skulls in the D's.
Yeah, it says Geraldine Fitzgerald and Hector Elizondo star in a tale of horror from beyond.
Yeah.
Hey, From Beyond.
Oh, it's a Beyond film.
All right, it's good. I like it.
Yeah. All right, so you're number 4.
Yeah, this is a breaking point.
This was like my 6. I didn't quite get it on the list.
Yeah. No, I like this one. Mm-hmm. I like it when the title is part of the art.
Yes. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, good integration there.
I think this is like a either Canadian or like partially Canadian production. It's directed by Bob Clark, famous Canadian filmmaker. Did Black Christmas and. The Christmas Story,
right,
and probably other Christmas movies. I don't know.
Not a Christmas movie.
But I really like it when they make the title part of the artwork in a cool way. It's a nice black and white. I'm not normally necessarily partial to black and white posters unless they're like a really good, like they do something really cool with it.
It's got some neat style on this one.
Yeah.
The way the two foreground characters, like you can only see them like just a little bit of them from the back, but they've got like this weird they're polarized.
Yeah.
Like it's like a strange like photo image.
Yeah.
So
I sort of like how like they're like you can tell that they're like human figures that are facing the characters, but they also kind of look like part of the art, sort of like almost like sort of pillars for the title.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like the title's like kind of sitting on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. No. Good. Like I said, it's really came close to being on my list.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
It's pretty basic, but like I said, you don't often always see those things where they make the title like part of the art, sort of, and I like that. So when it's done well.
So I went with Next Stop Greenwich Village.
Yeah,
which is
I did see this one.
Yeah.
I did like it actually, but I didn't pick it. It is cool though.
It's a really like there's a lot of painted posters, like art posters. This year. This one, the amount of detail is ridiculous.
It's great detail. It's very clean.
Yeah, super clean, easy to read. Little blurb about Greenwich.
Greenwich.
Greenwich. It's Greenwich. Greenwich doesn't have it. Period piece. Takes place in the 50s.
Yeah.
But it kind of actually like seeing this, I was like, I don't want to watch that movie. Which was actually probably the hardest thing. A lot of the posters that I saw from this year, I was like, even the ones I liked, I kind of was like...
Oh, Christopher Walken's in it.
Yeah, very young Christopher Walken.
Billed at the very end.
Must be just a bit part.
Interesting.
But Shelley Winters. But yeah. So,
a lot of writing.
Pardon?
A lot of writing.
It is a lot of writing, but I like how it's not on top of any of the art. Like, it doesn't cover up anything. It's sort of, like, fit in around.
Yeah.
But it also, like, that's why I think sort of, like, makes not the writing, the art is so good. If you took the writing off, it just looks like, just like a painting. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
no, it's nice. It's just, it's a little below
where
my list would start, but yeah.
All right. So then on to your 3.
So this is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I am a sucker for a good baghead. I just think it's like one of the most creepy...
I don't think I saw this one.
Creepy images that... This is an alternate poster because I couldn't find any really good quality things of the original, like the regular poster.
Yeah.
But also B, the thing I didn't really like so much on the regular poster is it has like you can see at the bottom there where it says starring Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson was like a known actor at the time.
Yeah.
He and in the regular poster it does the thing where there's like a little box at the bottom with like just like his face in it, and it says
just in
like
case you
starring
don't know
Ben Johnson next to it and
yeah.
stuff, and it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like
That's slight variant.
I didn't really like that aspect anyways. Yeah, this kind of looks like it was like cut from like a VHS box or something.
It does. But the Diary of the Dead one also has that vibe
too. But this is a slight it's pretty much the same. It's just like the bottom part is a bit different. The colors are slightly different. The title like
it's good baghead though.
Yeah.
That is a really good baghead.
Again, this is one that like I know of just from watching like YouTube videos about like old horror movies and stuff, but I don't I haven't actually seen it myself yet at least. But I mean it's like it's labeled as like a true story, and it's like basically very loosely based on like an actual case that happened and stuff. But I love good baghead. Love Friday Part 2 when Jason is introduced and has the baghead. It's just inherently creepy and weird. And just a sack on someone's head with like eye holes cut out. It's just it's
for me it's always the like it's got this like because it's so like that could just be anybody because anybody can put a bag on their head, and so there's such a like creepy spooky element to it because of that. But it also to me is also like if I put a bag on my head and cut eye holes in it, the countdown to those eye holes being misaligned and me not being able to see out of that bag is like 5 seconds. So I'm never sure how that quite works in movies.
I mean, you say that, but I guarantee if I ever saw a person
with a bag head, I'm running.
I am running.
Yeah.
Like, that is scarier than... because of the fact that it's so real, like it could be a thing. That
it's also there's also the it's also reminiscent of like Ku Klux Klan, and like so many scary things, right? You know, it's
So, but I think it's just a good. I think it's a good composition.
Yeah. The coloring on it pops in a way that like a lot of.
It's a little brighter than because the standard poster is like a little bit more of a darker palette. It's close though; it's similar, but
it's sometimes hard to tell with that stuff because you're like, did they scan it bad, or is this just a bad photo of a poster? No, it's good. All right. So my number 3. So I went with the Rocky poster.
Yeah.
I really like it.
I mean, I'll say this. It's extremely true to what the movie is about because, of course, people are always it's like a sports movie, right? Boxing movie. And it's like, well, it kind of...
I cannot lie and say that its ranking here...
Yeah.
It would have been in my top 5 because I really like it.
Yeah.
But its ranking here is really based on a lot of it. It ranks this high because because
it's Rocky.
Because it's Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Movie
I mean, I would have loved to have been able to have it. It's just like, for me, it's like, that's literally just a poster of like the back of 2 people.
Yeah.
That kind of really does nothing for me. But
I like what it presents.
Yeah.
I like that it presents like you say, this movie it's about these people.
Yeah.
It's not like, wait, I thought this movie was about a boxer.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but
I mean, it is,
but like, the important thing is this.
I like how the Rocky, like the title, is connected all by the outline all the way around. If I had one thing to knock it against, I wish the part where it says his whole life was $1,000,000 shot was centered rather than offset.
Yeah.
But I'm a real
someone had to make that decision. That was a creative decision.
Yeah.
They decided to do that.
And I'm sure it probably has to do with something how people's eyes track on a page or something like that.
Could be. I mean, I get it. And I mean, it is very...
Again, like I said, hugely impacted by...
Sure, and it's true to the theme of the movie, because it is, what a lot of people don't understand is it's not about, like, a movie about, boxing or people hitting each other.
Yeah.
It's about, basically, that relationship.
Yeah.
And the others as well, but, like, that's the primary focus, and that's...
I mean, if you told people... somebody asked, what is Rocky about?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lady that works in a pet store, a guy who's a boxer, and they fall in love.
Yeah.
And people will be like, that's what Rocky's about?
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually what Rocky's about.
Literally what it's about. Yeah. I mean, it's not all of it, but it's the most important aspect.
Yeah. I mean,
especially when you view it.
To be fair, we don't see as much of her pet store job as we do of his boxing job.
But especially when you view it in the grander scheme of the franchise as a whole, where it's clearly like that's what it's about, because that's like the thread of their relationship, and particularly, I mean, I always look at it as like it's basically like the Rocky franchise is basically like it's just chronicling a life.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it just kept going on and on. It was like. It's just chronicling like
just filled in more and more
Rocky's
and more,
life, and it's awesome. But for a poster, unfortunately, like for me, that's just literally a poster of like 2 people like
fair
looking.
I mean, it
in
is.
the other
It's
direction,
what it is.
the back of 2 people. Like it just doesn't wow me. Yeah. I think they could have done better, but at least it does capture the true essence of.
Yeah, because it's definitely like when you look at the posters from the later Rocky movies, they're all like. Him punching a guy, and it's all
gets more bombastic, which not surprising.
Well, all right. So you're number 2.
Yeah. So this is a Soviet or like a Russian film. This is The Little Mermaid. This is a 1976 Russian version of The Little Mermaid.
Wow.
And I think it's really cool.
That is a good poster.
I think it's really, really neat. I really like the sort of the curly. Like the Cyrillic, like the way they wrote, the letters with that sort of curly kind of, and just pretty cool color palette. I like the curved, like how they put the other like all the credits and stuff like around it in this sort of curve. The artwork is really cool.
Her like coming out of the waves there, and the way that's all blended. No, that's great.
Bubbles and stuff like it's really nice.
That is a nice poster.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah,
definitely see why it's your 2.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I was really, because I was like, oh, let's see because we've had like some, in the last few episodes of this, we've had some good luck with going to like some of the more like foreign, like finding out, like, oh, here's some like cool like Czech poster, or Polish, or like some kind, and I was just like, oh, what's available?
I didn't go that far because I had about like 8 or 9 from.
Yeah, you had enough to.
I had enough, and I was like, I just on a whim, I was like, oh, I'll take a look at the French ones because French often do stuff way different than French posters in '76. Trashed.
Yeah, I didn't even look at the French. I didn't even think of it.
It was literally just picture of main character. Yeah. Surrounded by small photos of the other cast.
Right.
Every single one. Yeah. I was like, where's all the, like, art and all the painting and all the...
I looked at, like, Canadian, British, and...
I always look at the Canadian, Japanese, British ones. Japanese ones I have the hardest time with. Because they put so much writing on their posters.
Russian, yeah.
Yeah. So Japanese just litter their posters with writing.
Yeah, and I was like, and I knew that because I was just like, oh, in the 70s, like, the Soviets, they got up to some really arty kind of stuff sometimes. So it's like that can sometimes be a good resource for that type of stuff. And I found this one, I was just like,
well, we had some
really cool.
We had some last week for 56. We had some really good, like the Croatian one.
Yeah, we've had some really good luck.
We had that tie for the
we've had some really good luck with delving into the more foreign ones.
Yeah,
and so I was just like, oh, I'll check it out.
Good call. Yeah, that's good.
It's so nice, man. I really like it. I was actually kind of teetering on, is it maybe a 1?
Oh, okay.
Maybe because, but like I was like, well, it's a bit. I don't know.
No.
I didn't go with 1. Obviously, I went with 2, but like, it was close. It was kind of close.
Right. So this is my number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So all I know about this movie is that it's like 4 hours long or something like that.
It's a real epic.
But yeah. 1900. I just really like the composition of it. I like the kind of... I don't even know what to call the art style of how it shows the characters. Kind of a bit like...
There is a name for it, but I do not, unfortunately, know.
It has vibes of, like, because they got, like, the like small heads and the big feet, and it's kind of a bit like the Yellow Submarine art style, but a little more like formalized version of that. Sort of like pop art, too. I like that. I like that it's all centered. Just really... This is like... Oh, well, it also kind of looks a bit like a novel cover, too.
Kind of.
But this is like,
Except for that it says a film by.
It does say a film by. If it said a novel by, although I think it actually is based on a novel. I would, this is like, I would put that on the wall, kind of.
Really?
Like, which is funny because I don't know if I put my number 1 on the wall, but I like my number 1 more as a poster. I like this one more as like a piece of art. But
I mean,
which is I'm making
a weird. Do with a poster? Poster goes on a wall.
Yeah.
I kind of know what you mean. But I also kind of don't know what you mean.
I think what I mean by I like my other one as a movie poster more, just like as a movie poster.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. So that's...
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that
No.
I mean, it's good, but it's just not my bag.
No.
Oh, I will say this, though. It's pretty cool how they did the double C in the end of Bernardo Bertolucci's name.
Oh, yeah.
With like it being
big
like
C,
a little C, and almost like half inside of it.
This way, they're the same length.
I know. Well, I know it was for typographical reasons, but it looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like a sort of like a doubled kind of crescent moon kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
That's good. I didn't actually notice that.
Really? Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, the typeface in general is nice because like I like that R with like the extended the
leg that goes
down further and
the way the crosses and the E's and stuff are offset a bit and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a really nice typeface.
Good font. Good font. Yeah. Also consistent. Not one of those posters that's got like 8 fonts going on, which can be fun too. But yeah. All right. So this is your number 1.
Yes, is The Outlaw Jizzy Wells.
Yeah,
one of the best Clint Eastwood movies of all time. Imagine if his face was kind of disfigured on one side. That's Jonah Hex,
right?
Like literally,
yeah. Just put the little skin tag there.
Like that's like literally what I mean. That must be what they based it off of.
100%.
But I mean, I've seen this movie. It's a great movie. It's one of it's one of Clint Eastwood's best movies. But that is a killer poster.
Yeah, this was also almost on my list.
Expression,
it's so well painted. It's so well painted. It's like, such a good painting. Yeah,
the squint because it's Clint.
Yeah, of course he's squinting.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Look at his luxurious mane.
Yeah.
I love even like the little bottom.
The riders, the silhouetted riders.
It works, man.
Yeah, they're 2-tone silhouetted riders. Works really good. I mean, that is a very like this is a very like Western poster
but
composition.
This is like
but it's so tight,
super well done of it.
Doesn't have a bunch of extra crap in the back. You know what I also appreciate? Not yellow. Which is usually the background being yellow is usually the go-to on a.
Well, I like the little sort of lines that they have to kind of texture the background a little bit.
Yeah. Just give it a little something so it doesn't appear empty.
Yeah, but without going overboard.
It's like they're like speed lines for his pistols. He's whipped them up so fast.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they look like speed lines. Very very simple. Like just like his name at the top, and then the title, and then that little bit of an army of one.
Yeah. Again, nice consistent font. Very good. Nothing overlaps like anything in a bad way. The Clint Eastwood going because he's got the gun sticking up there, but it's still like it's clean. It looks so good. That is a very also really nice like this is just a good picture of this poster too.
Yeah.
Not well, most of ours are. We don't have anything like weird or bad.
Yeah, I found this was like a lucky find. I found this and the actual like it's huge.
It's
massive. One of those ones where like if you go to full
yeah, I can see because it says we're looking at it at 19%.
If you go to full size, it's like this bit of his forehead
is like on the screen.
Yeah, and you can like scroll around. You can see every tiny little detail.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Like 10,000 by 10,000 pixels or something.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's a great movie. And I mean, and it's not even like this type of genre of like Western is not even really my thing, but this is a really good one. And it's a great poster, and it's my number 1. Easily.
Nice. All right. So I guess no crossover then.
Yeah, that's fine. Right. There's a lot of variety to pick from on this year.
So my number 1.
I
went with
The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah. Really like this poster. It's weird and eerie, much in the sort of the way the movie is. The composition of how his face is mixed in with the picture, but also he sticks out of it. And then everything is kind of like overlapped, but in layers that aren't like it's not consistent. Like, how is it this both in front and behind in a weird way? Something interesting. What looks like fold lines on the poster? No, that's part of the poster. That's how it was. I was like, oh, that's weird. I just really, really like this poster.
That's fair.
I mean, great movie too. But just. Something about it just super invokes so much. Just a weirdness to it. Interesting, big, bright colors, but then like stark black, all black poster, which is none of our other posters have any of that.
We didn't have any black based ones.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have any. Not a lot of horror movies.
Well, there were some, but
like on our list,
no,
like outside,
the list,
like the only horror movie we had. Well, I guess the one I had, Diary of the Dead, was horror, but that was all purple and black. Was the one you had the
Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yeah, and that one's all like bright and very, very colorful. So You know, because thinking from other episodes we've done where the standard for a horror movie is black background, you know. Man Who Fell to Earth, not a horror movie, but but yeah. So that's my number one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's not really to my taste. I don't really like those colors very much.
Ah, okay. So just real not to your aesthetic. Yeah,
you know, they're kind of a bit putrid. Cool. Like the logo font thing is cool.
Oh, for
for his
like
name
his
as
name,
well.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like the tails on the T's and.
It's got the long tails on the T's.
Yeah, and those triangle O's.
On the L's too.
Yeah, and the triangle O's.
Yeah. Almost like band album
very
font.
Very much so. In fact, I think that he may have even used that on an album.
Oh,
maybe. It looks familiar. Anyways, yeah, it's it's the Man Who Fell to Earth. It's cool. It's cool. It's just not really to my taste.
No, that's all right. Yeah. So no crossover this week. Yeah, good. And you had, and two of yours were ones that were also very strong contenders for my list. Cool. Jesse Wales there and Breaking Point.
Cool. What do you think of this one, the Russian?
Oh, that Russian one is so good. That Russian one is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you wouldn't have seen it unless you specifically looked up.
I was not going to pop up under...
No, exactly. And that's why I just thought, like, hey, like, let's just see, because sometimes they have interesting arty things.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and so let's spin the wheel and find out what we're doing next week, or next time.
Ooh, we got some 2000s!
2002!
Oh, we haven't had a lot of 2000s.
No. I think we had one other...
2004, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Which is pretty close to this, but I mean,
there's
so many...
Yeah.
There's so much variety.
It is kind of funny how little we've gotten from, like, 2000 up.
Yeah.
Versus, like, how often we have rolled into the 90s.
So much, which is fine.
90s and 50s.
Yeah, a fair amount.
Yeah, 2004. Yeah, we did 2004.
Yeah, which is so close, but at the same time, like, I know there's going to be a ton of different...
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks with our favorite posters from 2002. Thanks, everyone, for watching along. We'll see you then. Until then, I'm Chris.
This is Emmett.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.